Oh boy. Oh boy. What's happening, everybody out there? What's happening, everybody? How's everybody doing? This is your boy, Mr. Yee Yee. We are live and direct. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you, everybody, for giving me your time. This is Mr. Yee Yee. It's the Saturday takeover where we talk all about junk removal and we talk that junk removal talk. And, we had a very, very busy day today. And everybody's busy is different, and we had just an extremely busy day today with three cleanouts. And it wasn't easy, but the jobs got done today. And it was a kind of exhausting day, but we had trailer load after trailer load after trailer load, but the jobs got done. uh the crew was working today. We had a full crew today. We had all three Yeeees plus Mr. Yeeee, and we were rocking and rolling today. And it was a blessing. And man, it's just a blessing that uh, 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 um, the jobs are coming in. The phone is ringing, and we're staying busy right now. And you know what I mean. It's winding down a little bit for some people, but right now we're still consistent. We're still staying above, and the jobs are coming in. And it's just a blessing. But with that said, we had a good day today on Saturday. you know um we got more Google reviews today. We got two more Google reviews today. We got a Yelp review today. And it's a blessing that the jobs are coming in. And people are knowing who we are. People are seeing our brand. And when I say brand, I mean people are knowing about our brand from our brand awareness. And people are starting to know, especially in my area, who No Limit Hauling and Junk Removal is. It is a brand name that a lot of people know of when they see my trucks and my trailers, and they tell me, I've seen your truck and trailer driving. I've seen you. Absolutely. And when they see me all over social media, that's when I know my brand is out there. So when people tell you that they see you on social media, they seen your video, that's telling you your brand is out there. So, but they have to really trust your brand. They have to really trust you. And the more they see you, the more content you put out, the more confidence you have, the more you show them your look. And the more you show that you're authentic to the game, the more your phone is going to ring. And that's just it. So with that said, it's a good Saturday. And let's keep on grinding. I hope everybody was out there grinding themselves. And I'm exhausted. I'm not gonna lie. Mr. Yee Yee is a little tired, but I made it happen. I rushed home, and I put a little bit of chow in me. I put a little bit of chow in me, showered up, got ready, put on my game day hat. What I'm talking about. Niners gonna be playing Seattle tomorrow. And but today's show, Mr. Yee Yee show today, live with Yee Yee. Everybody who's tuned in right now, I appreciate you giving me your time, tuning in, and just being down with it, and supporting the movement. And hit that like button, hit that subscribe button on Instagram, hit that follow button, support the movement. You know what I'm talking about? And that's what's just what I'm doing. But today's topic to today, what I want to what I want to what I want to touch base on today, topic today, and I want you guys to tap in and leave a comment, or if you want to come on the show, come on, let's get you on live. And but today what I want to talk about is what they don't tell you about junk removal. So that's today's subject today. Today's subject is what they don't tell you about junk removal. I think one of the things that they don't tell you about junk removal is that it's so easy. A caveman can do it. You know what I mean? You could teach a dog, a donkey, yee ha. You know what I mean? To do junk removal. I think, that's one of the biggest secrets that they don't tell you is that junk removal is so easy. You know what I mean? That's why so many people do it because you don't have to have a degree. You don't even really have to have training. Just, you know what I mean? Get in a truck, pick some shit up, put it in a trailer, let's go. Don't break anything. So, that's just how easy it is. You know what I mean? You know, that's how easy junk removal is. Trust me. And I think some of the things that they don't tell you, some of the things that they don't tell you about is marketing and sales. Marketing and sales is like number, you know, marketing. How do you guys market out there? How do you get seen? How do you let people know you exist? How do you guys market yourself? How do you get your brand out there for people to see you? That's what they don't tell you is that, marketing. You know what I mean? Marketing is big. You know what I mean? You got to learn how to put your content out there. You got to learn how to, you know, let people see you and know you and that's just it. How do you guys do that? How do ah, how do you let people know who you are in your area? Far as marketing, advertising, social media, how do people know about you in your area with your marketing? Is it your post? Is it your before and afters? Is it you talking? And I think that some of the gurus out here, some of the biggest people in the game don't really tell you that marketing is so important. And you, you either post on social media and you post and you post and you post and you post until the people see your brand and start seeing who you are, or you got to pay to play. You know what I mean? You're gonna learn. You're gonna learn that you can do it organically. You can post and post and post and post, but if you want to scale and you want what I mean to really get up there and really making a certain type of money, you really got to pay to play. And I think that these guys won't tell you that. These guys won't tell you, you know what I mean? Like I said, the topic of the day is what they don't tell you about junk removal is that, you really do got to pay to play. And there's so many people out there who do pay for Google ads, who do pay for Facebook ads and, other ads. And, I'm one of them. You know what I mean? I'm running a Facebook ad right now. I dabble in a few other things, but I'm not afraid to admit it. You know what I mean? Because it brings in that dinero. You know what I mean? And I want to be seen more. I want to be seen everywhere. I want my, what's up, Denise? I got Denise right here. Denise is tapping in with us. What's up? What's up? And it's just, I want to be seen everywhere. And I think that, some of them don't tell you, what you should be doing or what they do or what they're, what I mean, what they're scared to do, but they really want to do it, so, you know, that's right. I appreciate that, Denise. I appreciate the support. And you know what I mean? We're talking today more about what they don't tell you about junk removal. You know what I mean? You know, what, how do you land jobs, sales and junk removal? How's your sales game? How do you land a job? You know what I mean? How do you do, how do you get good in sales, life experiences, hustle background, all these type of stuff that help you with sales, and that a lot of people don't tell you what are really going to help you with sales, because I think some of the biggest people in junk removal right now have a background. They have some type of background where it may not be that good, it may not be the best, but I'm trying to tell you that their background has really helped them with learning how to talk and how to be a sales and how to sell and how to talk to people and how to, you know what I mean, do what you got to do to make it happen. And a lot of people have to really work on this, that it's your sales. I think that what they're not telling you is the two most important things in junk removal really is marketing and sales. How do you market? Do you just blast social media? Do you keep on spamming social media with the same post? Do you do before and after pictures? Are you making reels? um how are people engaging with you? How are people contacting you? Are you getting jobs from Facebook? Are you getting jobs from Instagram? Are you getting jobs from TikTok? How are you getting jobs? How is this marketing working for you? And I think what they won't tell you is that marketing is so important. That's how you're going to make more money. That's how you're going to get out there, and that's how you're going to get brand awareness. What I'm talking about? That's how they're going to see you, by you marketing and putting in that hard work. And you know if you got to pay, if you got to pay to play, then you got to pay to play. But if you're paying for leads, and best believe me, you're putting yourself out there in front of everybody, and before everybody. Because if you're paying for leads, then you must got the money, and you can afford it. And hopefully what you're doing with that. And maybe you have an expert helping you with that. And you know and number two is your sales are so important. Your sales are so important in junk removal. They may not tell you this, but your sales are so important in junk removal. You really have to land. You really have to be so good at your sales now, because junk removal last year, junk removal 2 years ago, is not junk removal now. You know what I mean? Junk removal is changing. The face of junk removal is changing. Junk removal is getting so diverse. There's so much people putting content out there with junk removal, and a lot of people are starting to realize that social media and running the right content on your social media really works. But you have to do it in a certain way, because you have to be more creative. You have to be different. And they're not going to tell you that. They're going to say, hey, buy my class, buy my course, do this, or enter this, or do this, or let me help you with the link below, and all this type of shit. But Mr. Yee Yee, I drop it to you guys for free. And I put those reels out there now. I show you guys my reels. I put my reels out there now for you guys to see. I don't even really talk on my reels. You know what I mean? My marketing right now, I don't even talk on my marketing. I let my actions speak for myself. What I do is, you know what I mean? I put these reels out, and I let you guys see the magic that I do, from brand awareness, from marketing, from my equipment to my crew. Then after I'm done, that's all a client wants to really see. A client just wants to see, can they trust you, how you look, can they relate to your content, as in, man, I really do need that garage clean out, like what he just put. Because I've got so many jobs where just because what I posted, they related to it. They related to what I posted, and they felt that energy, and they wanted that relief, because I told a story. I told a story with my reel. You know what I mean? And it's just a blessing. But let me talk to a couple people right here. What's up with Triple G? You know what I mean? Thank you for tapping in. What's up with Cisco? I see you out there. You know what I mean? What's up with Owen? What's happening, guys? You know what I'm saying? We're out here. It's 7:15 West Coast Pacific time, and the Yee is live, and we're giving you guys this game. If you guys have any questions, leave it in a comment, tap in, let me know. Let's answer a question. But we had a good day today out there. Um, we had trailer load after trailer load after trailer load. I got two full trailer loads now. We had three cleanouts today. And let me see. The first one was booked. The second one was booked. Then the third one came out of nowhere. Because when clients want it done, they want it done. But that third one, 5 minutes from my location. I don't even have to travel like that. You know what I mean? Because what I'm doing with my content, with what I'm putting on my social media, what I'm putting on my Google, it's all adding up. It's all coming together now where, my brand is out there. People are seeing my brand. You know what I mean? And that's what it's all about, is when, I really don't care if people in my area see my brand, especially, I mean, like other junk removal businesses in my area see my brand, because whatever, you know what I mean. I learned that lesson, you know what I mean. But what I care about now is clients seeing my brand, not seeing my name, Mr. Yee Yee, but seeing my brand. And today was proof of that. Job after job after job after job. We have a huge estimate going on tomorrow for a retail chain. I'm talking about fast food retail chain that reached out to us because they seen us on one of our platforms and reached out to me, and we didn't go over the phone. Whoop, 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 whoop. We just said, hey, let me come out and look at it. Let me come out and give you a price. Let me come out and see what's going on. And that's exactly what we're doing tomorrow. And we're actually doing the job Monday, but this is for a multi-million dollar chain fast food restaurant that we're cleaning out tomorrow. I mean, Monday. But it's just, the phone's going off more and more and more and more because, my brand is out there. The SEO's working, the website's working, the GMB is working. And, me just posting, and I get so many comments. I get so many people who reach out to me and say, I loved your video. Your video is very, very, first, it was entertaining. Second, it was authentic. I loved how it was just you, your crew, and what you guys did. And, it was very informative. That's exactly what a lot of people tell me. It was very informative. And I don't even talk on my reels really no more. I just show you guys what I do. I put it together. I put some music on it. I edit it. I do all that. And, you guys could reach out to me. Like I say, I'm helping everybody out, with I want to help you market your social media. So, I want to help you guys get better at social media. I want to help you guys run your business better with social media and build your brand. So when people see your reel, when people see your story, when people see your post, I want them to say, I want that guy because that guy looks different. That guy's not like them. That guy looks this way. That guy looks that. I like this. I had one guy. I had a job the other day because they liked the way my picture looked with my trailer. And this is for a multi-million dollar business in my area that reached out to me, a big multi-million dollar bakery that reached out to me and said, I hired you because your trailer and you looked official like a referee with a whistle. You know what I mean? And it was just like, I don't have a huge dump truck. I don't have all these things. I don't have all this overhead. You know what I mean? I just have a truck and two trailers, and it's working for me, and I'm making it work. You know what I mean? And I can go out and get the big toys, and some guys call themselves a big dog because they have those toys. But my trailers do the same thing. My equipment does the same thing. But at the end of the day, my equipment works for me. And what works for me, it works for me. What works for them works for them. So I don't. It doesn't matter if you have a cameo. If you got a camel or a cameo, and you load up that thing, there you go, man. You know what I mean? Or a donkey, yeehaw. You know what I'm saying? Triple G, all you gotta do is reach out to me, man. You reach out to me, man, get more information, and let me help you with that social media, man. And let me help you look different. Let me help you have that confidence. Let me help you with that look. Let me help you being more authentic. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's about, is building people's trust when you look authentic. And everybody has their own look. But if you master your look and you have that confidence and you're authentic, that leads to bigger profits and more clients. And I'm trying to tell you, I'm talking about, I'm trying to tell you, my people's just tapped in, what I mean? Load runners, junk removal, SoCal right there in the house. That's V Love and that's Sarah, man. The children, what's happening, what I mean? And they're tearing it up out there in Southern California. They're tearing it up out there, and the Yee sees you. You know what I mean? I think wifey got a 75 thing going on with the skin and everything, and you know what I mean. But what they double trailer gang? I mean, let me put that up there for you, for everybody could see that. Double trailer gang. It just works. Don't really think on Isuzu would bring in more. Well, you know what I mean? Some people think it brings in more, but some people, you know what I mean, want to fit in, you know what I mean, with the crowd. But out here in Northern California, Southern California, it's a lot more trucks and trailers out there getting money with less overhead. And if it works for you, I, I may not even get a dump truck. You know what I mean? I want a dump truck, but I'm probably not going to get a dump truck. You know what I mean? And I might just go with a 14-foot box truck, like one of my guys here in my area got a box truck, and he makes it happen. And I might just get my own box truck because at the end of the day, your workers, you know what I mean. You gotta learn what's best for your business, what's best for you. And can you trust your workers with the tarp? Can you trust people when you're not driving that? Can you trust people that they put that tarp on the right way, they strapped it down, or when they dumped it, did they lift the tarp, or it's the doors? So I'm sure everybody who has workers, I'm sure everybody who has workers and they have a dump trailer or a dump truck, and they've all experienced this when their workers effed up. You know what I mean? And it was just like, oh man, you didn't secure the doors, you didn't fasten the tarp, you didn't move the tarp up, and everything came out. You tore the tarp all up. You know what I mean? And I see, I see somebody in my area who has a brand new truck, and you know what I mean, but a holy ass tarp. And you're talking about a brand new truck already dents and holes in the tarps. And because a lot of people don't realize that, man, these are very expensive pieces of equipment that you have. You better be taking care of them. You better be watching out. You better be, you know what I mean, investing in the right help to know better. But a lot of times, you know what I mean, we have to learn this. And it takes time to find that right employee. So what I was getting at is, what I think is better for me to get a 14-foot box truck, a used U-Haul with the granny attic on top. And I don't care, my guys can load that up. They can put 3 or 4 jobs in that thing and close the door and go, and they can unload it at the landfill. And they can hand unload it. It don't matter. You're getting paid by the minute. You know what I mean? I think having a dump truck is luxury. It's straight luxury. Maybe after a year behind the wheel and they build trust, or who knows, then we can move to another route. But I would never go buy a brand new dump truck. I would never go buy a brand new dump truck. That's just not my thing. You know what I mean? I don't want to be in debt. I don't want to have overhead. You know what I mean? The two of the biggest debts that you can have in life, two of the dumbest debts that you can have in life, is really, some of you guys may not agree with this, but two of the dumbest debts that you can have in life is a home mortgage and a car, and a car loan, because you're stuck to them. And I'm talking about, these things get old. And it's just that, why you think investors, they pay cash? Why you think people who flip, they pay cash? Why you think people who flip cars, they pay cash? You know what I mean? They don't want to be in debt. They don't want to have this 30-year lease. They don't want to have an 84-month payment. You know what I mean? But whatever. Everybody's different. And but me, I'd rather buy a used one. And I don't want to buy a diesel because everybody's talking about they break down. But I own a diesel right now, and I know the struggles with diesels. And there's a lot of you out there who know the struggle also with diesels. And I'd rather get a gasoline and just get a box truck where I don't have to worry about employees with a tarp, securing the doors. Go to the landfill, open that door, unload it. There you go. You know what I mean? I'll drive the truck and trailers to jobs, for the bigger jobs that require bigger cleanouts. And a lot of my trailer rentals, I drop off. So and therefore I won't have to be behind the wheel, because next year I kind of don't want to be behind the wheel no more. You know what I mean? I got to fire myself. I got to do some situations. And this goes with the topic we're talking about is, what they won't tell you in junk removal is that, in order to scale, you got to fire yourself. If you're working, you know what I mean? If you're, you know, you don't have to, you don't have to scale always to grow. You know what I mean? I'm good with 150 to $200,000 a year. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to work 7 days a week and not go on vacations just for an extra $50,000. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to do that. There's a lot of people out here who do that, who want to work 7 days a week and want to make all that money and want to be this powerhouse, but don't really do anything with it. Don't really make the right investments because, I think junk removal should be an investment for you. Junk removal should help you get to other places in life. This is a business where you can dive in board, dink, like Flipper or that striper in the water. You know what I mean? You could just jump into another situation that, they won't tell you. If you're if you're saving all your money into your savings account or just hiding your money underneath your bed, how is that helping you? You know what I mean? How is that helping you? You know what I mean? I want, I want short-term gains. I don't want long-term. I want short-term investments that pay off quick. If you're going to put your money into a Roth IRA, go handle your business. If you're going to put your money into a high yield savings account, there you go. You know what I mean? You're building up interest, but right now with your regular bank account, all you're doing is getting a 0.5%, and you ain't really doing nothing with that. But what they won't tell you in junk removal is that, invest your money into other situations. Don't invest your money into, what I mean, I need this for junk removal, I need this for junk removal. Invest in just the basic shit in junk removal. You know what I mean? Marketing and sales. That's what you need to invest into being around people who know the business, who can help you and, get you to where you need to go because they're there too. That's who you really want to relate to. You know what I mean? And, that's just, there's so many things in junk removal where they won't tell you. You know what I mean? And, I think another one is that they won't tell you is that you don't need all that fancy equipment. There's, Ricardo talks a lot. You know what I mean? The guy in Texas talks a lot, but, he gets the job done. There's a lot of things I don't believe about. There's a lot of things that, I don't, you know, listen to Ricardo about, but there's some things that I do listen to, and that does attract my attention when he does say things. And you can get the job done. You know what I mean? You don't need all this fancy equipment. You don't need all this because all you're doing is trying to look like them. And who is them? You're trying to look like franchise. This is junk removal. You know what I mean? A lot of people are like, just like it's almighty. It's all this. You paid a lot of money for a website. You paid a lot of money to somebody to do your logos. You paid a lot of money for somebody to do this, to do that, to do this. But are you really bringing in that money? But what they won't tell you is that, there's envelopes being taken in the background where, people, are gaining from this. And that's why they have help. There's a lot of people who won't tell you, you know what I mean? What's going on. And, you know, Mr. Yee will tell you what's going on. Hang on, man. We got actually because I'm live right here on Instagram at the same time. We got I think it's Ignacio from North Bay Junk Removal sent the request. So let's see what's happening with my guy over there in North Bay Junk Removal. Okay, accept it. Let's see what's happening with my guy. You know, let's see if he comes on the show now, and let's get him on the show. And another person who wants to tap in and be down with the yee. Hello, hello, hello. Was did you guys hear him for a second? He was on just for a second, and he doesn't really go on social media because I've asked him to be on my show numerous times, but he doesn't really go on the show. But today's show is just what they won't tell you about junk removal is that it's so basic. Save your money, get your money. I had a couple things written down right here, but side month, you know let's learn. You got to pay to play. Which one you got to understand which what works for you. Facebook, thumbtack, etc. You know what I mean. You got to figure out what works for you. You know what I mean. And then you got to really realize, it takes months, for this stuff to work. You know what I mean? And it takes, when you're investing in the thumbtack, Facebook ads, boost, and all these type of things, that it takes months for the algorithm and for Meta to build up this data for them to learn your algorithm and where to market you and put you. And then it takes time for them to see who's seeing your ads and retarget them. And that's what it's about. And the more you get seen, the more you have that advantage over your competition, where where they're going to build more trust in you. You know what I mean? They're going to say, "Man, I see this guy all the time. I got 2 jobs today from it." You know what I mean? And that's just what it's about. Excuse me. My brother said my brother's right here on Instagram. He said, press the wrong button. My apologize, but checking in. See? You know what I mean? See, you gotta get you love the camera. I see your reels. You like to be in front of the camera, but you won't go live. You gotta conquer that. I'm trying to tell you. I got nothing but love for my guy right here, but it's holding him down. I'm trying to tell you guys, you know what I mean? When you don't have to go live. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with that, my brother. You know what I mean? But you got to conquer that. You know what I'm saying? Because you're live in front of clients all the time. And let's talk about, you know what I mean? Let's talk about what do you guys do? Leave a comment below. What do you guys do when somebody says, I gotta ask my spouse, let me get back to you? What do you guys do when somebody says, I gotta ask my spouse, let me get back to you? You know what I mean? And this is all part of sales right here. So, what do you guys do when somebody says, let me get back to my spouse, let me get right back to you, or let me call them real quick, hang on. What do you guys do when that happens? I could tell you what Mr. Yee does. Every time I actually like when that happens. When that happens, I go into go mode. Like, you know what I mean? I'm talking about, like, if it's like fourth quarter, 1 minute left, and I gotta get that field goal to get this game won. Not like Patrick Mahomes last night. He got stopped. You know what I'm saying? But what do you guys do? Nobody want to tap in? You know what I mean? We got a few people in live right here. We got a few people on Instagram right here. Nobody want to say what they do when you go to a client's house. Say you drove all that far. A lot of you guys have to drive. A lot of you guys have to drive miles to your clients. You know what I mean? But what do? You say you drove a half an hour, 40 minutes to a client, and you did an in-person estimate, and they say, okay, well, I don't know, you know what I mean? Let me get back to you. Hang on, let me ask my spouse. You know what I mean? And what do? I think North Bay says something right here. Those people are price checking half the time. Okay. But what do you do? What do you do when they do that? Man, there's crickets around here. You know what I'm saying? What happens when people when people say, "Let me get back to you. Let me ask my spouse." What do? Do you just say, "Okay, okay, well, why don't you get back to me and let me know what your spouse says?" And I'm here for you whenever you need us, and no problem. You can always reach out to me anytime. All you gotta do is call or text, and just let me know I'm here for you. Is that what you guys do? Is that what anybody does out there? Or you know what I'm saying? Because that's this is part of sales. If you don't have this mastered, you probably do lose a lot of jobs. You probably don't close a lot of jobs like you think you close. You know what I mean? You know, He's my guy from North Bay Junk Removal. Make sure you guys follow, my people out there, over there in Sonoma County, also North Bay Junk Removal. North Bay Junk Removal. My guy's putting it down right there. My guy puts out content. He's on Instagram. Check his Instagram out. The guy puts out content. He puts out reels. He spits game, and he's building that content and letting you guys see what he does, and hopefully a lot of the clients see what he does also, and he gets a lot more business from clients than likes from other haulers. But anyways, you know what I mean? I meant your competition price checking. Oh, but I'm talking about when you get to a client's house. When you get to a client's house and they say, you walked the premises, you walked everything, you seen everything. Now you just hit him in that, you just give him that Kimball slice price, that Canelo versus Crawford in 2 weeks. And now they say, okay, let me ask my spouse. Hang on. Do you already see red flags right there? Are you like, oh damn, damn, this ain't my job. This ain't my job. Is that what you say? Is that what you think? Because I got 5 people right here, got a few people on Instagram, and nobody's saying nothing. Thank you though, my brother. North Bay Junk Removal. North Bay Junk Removal in the house, speaking up on that. But what do people say? So I'll get off that topic since no one, you know what I mean, wants to come back to that. You know what I mean? Because I'm not going to answer that question for anybody who doesn't tap in and say, what I mean, what they would do. You know what I mean? Because they're just too shy or they don't want to talk about it. But no problem. You know what I mean? But let me see. Yeah, let's get back to, you don't have to scale so big. You don't have to scale so big in your junk removal business and, tell people that you're the top dog or you're the go-to in junk removal or this and that. And you know what I mean? Because everybody's scaling is different. But me, I'm happy with with my situation where I'm at. I don't want all the big overhead. I don't want to do probably junk removal forever. This junk removal is hard on a man's body. What did I put right here? Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. What did I put about junk removal right here about the body? I can't even read this right now, but we'll get back to that. But junk removal is very hard on the body. And I don't know if you guys know that from jumping in and out of those trucks, in and out of those trailers, in and out of that lifted truck that you got, or climbing terrain to get to junk, climbing over things. And you can get hurt very fast in junk removal. And I don't plan on doing this forever. You know what I mean? So you know I like to think about junk removal, what it could do for me, how it's going to get me to the next level in life and the next path in life. And what junk removal is, a cash cow business where you make so much money if you do it right that you can do something else that's away from junk removal, that it's not part of junk removal. You know what I'm saying? So but let me see. Okay, we got some questions over here. That's what I'm talking about. Cisco, I always ask several questions before I head out there. For example, is there any more than one person that will be making the final decision? Okay, that's nice. That's nice. If so, when would be the perfect time to have both of you there? Okay, so my guy, what's up with my Neff right there? My Neff just logged in, baby. You know what I mean? It's the yee yee. You know what I mean? That's Neff Yee right there, Neff Bang. But Cisco hit on that and said, that's what he does. So thank you for sharing that, Cisco. He likes to ask questions before he gets there. Who's going to be there? Is there anybody making the final decision when they get there? Those are very good questions to ask before you get to a client's house. I love you, nephew. Those are very, very good questions to ask before you get to a client's house. Are you ready to make that decision? When are you thinking about getting this job there? Is the person who's going to make the final decision going to be there? You know what I mean? Thank you so much, Cisco, for touching base on that, because those are very valuable questions right there that as a business owner, you should be asking. You know what I mean? And hello. Now let's see what we got another question, right? We got another answer right here. We usually just say okay, but we already know This is from Load Runners, SoCal. You know what I mean? We usually just say okay, but we already know it's a no go, and the price was too high. W- We are aware that we are not for everyone. Okay, so you know what I mean. So when Load Runners, when they hear that, they already know this is not my job. They already hear a they already struck out, and you know what I mean. It's not their job. And thank you for that comment. You know what I mean. We're gonna get to one more. Hang on. Denise said, "I say to the customer, it would. I say to the let's post Denise's situation. Denise says, I say to the customer, would it help if we happened if we hopped on a call and both of you so I can answer any questions directly and make sure you both feel comfortable? So thank you, Denise, for sharing that right there. You know what I mean? So Denise likes to do this on a call. So she likes to, like she says, would it help if we jumped on a call? So, Denise does calls, you know what I mean? Which is very nice, which is, you get a lot of information when you communicate and, but Denise, other people, load runners, are you guys giving prices over the phone? So, and when you hop on a call, you know what I mean? That's kind of we already know that kind of like that's a 50-50 right there, you know? And then, Sarah and Vince again. We also asked if they are ready to get it done if we agree on the price. That's exactly what I'm talking about right there. That's like a number one right there. That's like a number one right there. Are you ready to get the job done? Are you ready to get the job done and get this done? If we agree on the price, I would like to show up and give you an in-person estimate with our estimates are absolutely free. We don't care if you're 30 miles away. Our estimates are absolutely free with no obligations. And if we agree on the price, will you be willing to get the job done that day? We'll show up with our truck and trailer and a crew. Boom. You know what I mean? Let's see. Upright, up, it's upright said, I never been a good salesman. I never been, I never been a good salesman. Still learning to be. I won't hustle anyone. I show up, smile, tell them what we offer and our value. If they turn me down, I get in my truck and drive off. It's all part of it. There you go. He seems, upright right there, seems very, genuine. Seems very like, okay, if they don't, you know what I mean? I don't want to be a salesman or I'm new to this. I'm not a good salesman. So, the only way to be good at this, my bro, is to fall and pick yourself back up and keep on picking yourself back up and keep on failing until you do learn to master it. That's how you're going to be a good salesman. You're going to be a good salesman by you keep on interacting with customers. So if you want to learn how to be a good salesman and have your brand out there, go do a lot more jobs for a lot cheaper. That's what's going to get you help. You know what I mean? When you're out there and you say, hey, I just started this. I don't want to lie to you. I just started my business. I'm just learning. The more you interact with customers and you just learning this and being new to the game, your prices should be one of the cheapest prices because you're learning. You're learning what it takes. You're learning how much it costs to fill your trailer up. You're learning how much concrete costs, how much work it takes concrete to do in your trailers or dirt jobs or tree jobs. You're learning. So what you can do is charge cheaper and learn and learn. That's how you're going to get in this. You've been in six. Oh, whoa. Hang on. Let me hit the e-brake. You've been in this game 6 years and you're still not a good salesman. I don't know what's going on. You may want to go to ChatGPT and figure that out. Because after 6 years and you're not a good salesman, I don't know if you're doing this part-time or if you're doing this full-time, but if you haven't mastered this after 6 years, and I'm gonna be real with you, if you haven't mastered this after 6 years, maybe this is not paying your mortgage. Maybe this is not paying your bills, and you're doing this on the side, and you love this, and you're doing it for fun, which is no problem. You can still make good money and still, own your business and do what you got to do. And I give it to you. You know what I mean? There you go. But let's just say, let's just see somebody. I'm gonna give you guys my answer now. I'm gonna give you guys my answer. I know you guys been waiting for this. I'm gonna give you my answer now. I'm gonna give you my answer now. So you know, okay. So Upright said the point, the point, the point of it is I don't hassle anyone. I do very well, brother. Hey, I never said you didn't do very well. I'm sure you do very well. You know what I mean? Everybody does their business in different type of ways. You know what I mean? And there you go. You know what I mean? You're in junk removal 6 years. You're doing something right. A lot of people don't make it in their first year. There's a lot of people right now selling equipment, selling trailers, selling trucks, selling their business right now because they're not making it after a year, 1 year, 2 years, three. And you made it 6 years already. You got more than me. I salute you. You're getting it. Get that money. You're doing something right. You know what I mean? I can't wait till I got 6 years. I can say I made 6 years. But Denise said Rudy is also good, good to role play with people around you. Say how a family member keep deflecting, saying no in every single way. That's what I'm about to get to. I'm just building it up for you guys. You know what I mean? Let me see. Okay, hang on. What else Denise said? Then you have to respond to those situations. We're about to get to that. You know what I mean? And then my guy, said for sure, for sure, you are speaking facts. The yee, all he does is speaks facts. I give you guys this facts of life. Tootie. This that old school facts of life. George Clooney was in that series TV show Facts of Life. But anyways, let's go. So this is what Mr. Yee would do when somebody says, let me, because I do all my estimates in person. I go to someone's house because I'm blessed that we do a lot of my jobs within a 5 or 10 minute range from my location. I do a lot of jobs right by my house. So I do a lot of in-person estimates. And when somebody, excuse me, when somebody tells the yee, I don't know, let me get back to you. Let me ask my spouse. Whoop. And I'm just like, as soon as I hear that, boop, goes into action. The yee goes to action. I start to find something to talk about. I start to pinpoint something. I start to look for things in the house or in the garage what to talk about. I start to see things that I can give discounts for. I start to make a situation where I can help them win. I start to look for everything in that house. Oh my God, you're a vet. Oh wow, you do this. Oh wow, is your husband? There's your little. I see a lot of car parts. Is he into cars? I love cars. I give somebody who was into cars because I'm into cars a discount. I start to look for reasons to give people discounts. I don't even want them calling their spouse. I don't even want them saying, okay, hang on, let me call my spouse. I was in a house the other day. In-person estimate, 5 minutes from my location. 5 minutes. Went there, nice garage inside the house, clean out. And I was by myself. And it happened to be 98 degrees. You know what I mean? Not the band, but 98 degrees. So I went there. The husband was a physician at work. The wife was there. The wife found me on Google. Not even Google Maps. She went on Google Maps, typed in junk removal, and I popped up at the top. She liked my pictures, me and my wife in front of our trailer, representing our trailer and our colors and our uniform, called us in. I got there, I seen everything, paints, hazard materials, construction debris, cardboard. They just moved in. They just moved in. I got there, I was seeing everything. I said, okay, I already got half a trailer loaded. You know what I mean? Because I've been doing other jobs. So I said, okay. I got there, I hit them with that price. Blah, blah. I hit them with that price, seeing where they're at. Because I always mark it up. I'm like the retail stores. I mark it up 300% because I already know we're going to play poker. We're going to start to negotiate. We're going to start doing everything. So what I did was I hit him with that price. Boom. Client was like, oh, That's kind of high because I knew I set that high price. Every time you start a price with an even number, clients are kind of weary. Kind of weary. So when you say sixes, fives, 700s, 600s, 500s, 400s, 300s, they're kind of weary because they're even numbers. They like to be in those middle numbers. You know what I mean? Not even numbers. They like to be in those odd numbers, not even numbers. So, I hit them with this price, boom. And the client was like, oh, well, let me get back. Let me ask my husband. Let me ask my husband. He's in the emergency room right now, but he always answers my calls. I said, well, what if he's working on a brain? What if he's having a brain surgery? And you know what I mean? So as soon as that client started to do that, I started to look around. Do. Because usually when you walk into a house with somebody and they greet you and you guys are having that connection, you can find something to talk about. But I walked into a certain situation, and as soon as they hit me with, let me ask my spouse, I don't know, that's kind of high. I started to look. Do. I seen a Air Force military combat hat, a hard hat from the Air Force. I said, wait a minute, hang on. Is your husband active duty? Is your husband a veteran? And she's like, yeah, my husband's a veteran, and now he's a physician in the hospital. And I said, oh, you should have told me. I give nothing but love for my servicemen and active duty and law enforcement. And she was like, you do? I said, yeah. I said, you should have told me. I said, you live right here, right by me, Travis Air Force Base. You got to ask for all. You got to tell everybody that you're military. This is a military town. It's a military county. You got to tell everybody so you can get 20% off. I said, what I'm gonna do for you, because my stepson is military. I said, what I'm gonna do for you, I'm gonna knock $100 off the price right now. But I already marked it up. So what I did was I hit him. I said, I'm gonna give you $100 off right now because of your husband right now. You know what I mean? I highly support him. I support you. Thank you for your services. I wish you would have told me this from the beginning, but I gotta give you this discount. As soon as I said that, she's like, well, I guess we don't have to wait for him. Let's just go ahead and do it. I did the job. The client sat there, gave me a club soda, talked to me the whole time, and gave me a $50 tip and a Google review, because I never, ever take no for an answer. If someone tells me, let me ask my spouse, let me ask my husband, let me ask my wife, I go into a different mode. You know what I mean? I go into a different mode. I'm already here. I want to get this money. So I start to look for things to talk about. And I'm so much of a good talker. I'm so much of a good people's person where, oh man, that's my gift. Everybody has their own gift. That's my gift. I'm very good at talking. And when I start talking and I start feeling somebody and I start seeing the situation, I'm not leaving. I'm going to get this. Watch this. And because I said, I'm going to give you $100 off, the client was seeing me working in the heat, gave me a club soda, but also at the end was like, here's a $50 tip, and give me a Google review, and told me I'm gonna put you on my next door right now where I just joined and tell everybody about you. And took a picture of me in front of my trailer and posted it on my GMB. And did I walk away because they said, let me ask my spouse? Or did I think that, no, I'm not going to get this job? Or did I think that, maybe I overpriced? Nah, nah, Mr. Yee ain't going for that. I can't go for that. Oh, no, no, no. And I didn't go for that. And when someone tells me, let me ask my spouse, I'm trying to get to them before they can ask their spouse. Because anytime you talk about money, it's always an issue. I'm trying to tell you. A lot of people don't realize that this is a luxury service. You could tell them it's a luxury service. They're not going to listen. They're only going to listen to that price. And right now, what they're not going to tell you, what those pros and gurus and all this is not going to, what they're not going to tell you is, right now, when it starts to slow down, you better adjust your prices. You better have sales and discounts and different prices for everybody. You better adjust your prices. If you don't adjust your prices when it gets slow, Crickets. You know what I mean? How many big chain stores always have sales, but it's not really a sale? How many times you go into Best Buy, Costco, whatever, and they say, you know what I mean? It's a sale. It's this, it's this, but it's really not a sale. Costco doesn't have sales because they are wholesale all the time, all the time. You know what I mean? So you have to master this, and that's mastering sales. That's mastering sales. And me, I mastered marketing. That's how they got me on Google Maps. They went on Google Maps and typed in junk removal, and I popped up, boom, over my competition because my SEO, my reviews, and all the postings I do, and those keywords. And those keywords that are pages on my website. You know what I mean? And from me taking the right photos, and my photos actually got me the job. Having me and my wife on the cover, showing our beautiful trailer, showing eye-catching colors. You gotta understand why you think a green light. Why you think a green light is green? Because it means go. Why you think a red light is red? Because it means hit the brakes. Key colors. Your garbage company uses key colors. I recommend you use the same colors as your garbage company. You know what I mean? I'm trying to tell you, 1-800 Got Junk has those colors. Guess what my truck colors are? It just happened to be that way. You know what I mean? It just happened to be that way, You know what I mean? Hang on, hang on. Let's see what Sarah and Vince are saying. You know what I mean? Understand your hustle, brother. But when we feel we are losing the deal, we hit them with a good price. We go off a price sheet. So we start them, we start them, we show them the discount from the gate. And thank God, thank God you guys have a price sheet, but not everybody cares about a price sheet. Not everybody goes off the price sheet. You might be walking to someone's house and you hand them the price sheet. They don't care. They don't care. How many times you walk in a client's house and you give them your card or your flyer? They don't care. They bend it right in front of your face and put it in your pocket or put it somewhere else. You know what I mean? And I totally understand people stick to their price sheet and they stick to their systems. But sometimes them systems don't work because I'm going to tell you, this is junk removal. This isn't electricians. This isn't painters. You're not a contractor. This is junk removal. Everything's negotiable. Everything. Everything. Those guys from 1-800 Junk, got junk, junk kings, whatever it is, they are programmed. They program their employees like dogs, like kids. Those other guys won't tell you that what they really do to their employees, how they program them to do a certain thing. You don't leave the house until you have money. You don't leave the house until this. You don't leave. They program them. If you get this, you'll get this little bonus. Fuck the bonus. You know what I mean? I want the check. I want to be the owner. I don't want to report for duty. I don't want to wear your shirt. I don't want to drive your truck. I want to drive mines. I want to be the leader. If I don't get the job, I don't get the job. My phone goes off every day. You know what I mean? Because I built that brand. People know about me. And this is what they're not going to tell you. They're not going to tell you that every system does not work. Every SOP does not work. They're not going to tell you. They're going to say, buy my book, buy this, buy that. I ain't never had to read a book to learn something. The last book I read to learn something was to get my CDL and at DMV. It's the only book I learned to really, you know what I mean? Because I learned a long time ago, this is junk removal. Sometimes a lot of people don't care. you better break you better change it up, especially right now, and I'm not going hard on you guys. I got number love for my people, Sarah and Vince. You know what I mean? Load runners, make sure you guys go follow load runners on Instagram, Facebook. They're putting it down. I watched them grow. I met them at the Junk Expo. They'll be at the Junk Expo this year again. And if you guys got your tickets, make sure you guys are going to the Junk Expo, because you know what I mean? It is what it is. October, Junk Expo. But what I've learned is that, they're not going to tell you that, but I will. Everybody adjusts their price. I'm going to try to tell you. They're not going to tell you that, but I'm going to tell you, everybody adjusts their price. You know what I mean? Listen, Denise said, GFL is lime green and my trucks are green. You see, those are eye-catching colors. My my trailers are black with neon green writing, and everybody can see them crystal clear. I'm talking about people call me all the time because they seen my truck. They seen my trailer. They told me, I seen your billboard. I was in back of you at the light and I seen your trailer. I need that tear down. I need that. So that's what I show in my content with my social media. And that's why I'm trying to help a lot of you guys out there with your social media. And I'm running a little program where, reach out to me, you know what I mean? So we can talk about it. I would love to see your social media and, you know what I mean, help you work on it and, help you maximize it to reach the right audience. Because a lot of us are not reaching the right audience with our social media. That's what they're not going to tell you. They're just going to tell you copy, paste, post, 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 post. But the gallery of pictures is not what it is now. That may have been 2 years ago. The before and after pictures, that might have been 2 years ago. That's not what it is now. Junk removal is so competitive right now. If someone said, "Hey, what's up, Mr. Yee? I want to get in junk removal. What's up? What I got to do?" I would say, turn around, go that way, and start a tree business. You know what I'm saying? Start a tree trimming business, because for one, it's cheaper with Google ads. For one, it's cheaper with everything. For one, it's cheaper for websites. For one, it's cheaper with SEO, everything. Number one business right now where everybody is taking advantage of and trying to take your money. You need this, you need this, you need this, you need that, is junk removal. Everybody's trying to take your money right now when it comes to junk removal. You guys got people emailing you every day. Is your listing listed? The EMG, you're not Google verified. Blah, blah, blah. You need this. Ooh, I can get you so many of this. I can get you some. They're not doing that to tree businesses. They're not doing that to power washing companies. They're not doing that to gutter cleanings. They're not doing that to the garbage cleaning guys. You know what I'm saying? But junk removal, everybody needs this. You need to be like this. You need to be a pro. You need to be this. That's what they're not telling you, is that you just need to just keep it 100 and just keep on being you and be authentic. And you know what I mean? But you got to learn. You got to learn this. You got to learn to keep up with the times and what works on social media right now. Because right now, social media is a $12 billion a year situation. So many people are taking advantage of social media right now, becoming content creators and blogging and doing videos. How many people do you see on TikTok who do videos at their house of them cooking dinner and just talking? And they're getting thousands of views. Oh, by the way, stop in my shop and buy this. Use a link next door. Use a link. And they're making money because they're content creators and they're putting their time, because social media is so different now. That time when you're posting a before and after, that gallery don't work no more. I hate to bust your bubble, but the gallery don't work no more. That's what they're not going to tell you. You know what I mean? Hang on, we got something going on. Y'all can think the guy that makes videos how I made 430 minutes shaking my effing head. That's Wolf's junk removal. What's happening, my brother? It's the Yeeeee. Right on for leaving a comment right there on Instagram. Make sure you guys go follow Wolf's lower slash junk removal. Follow him on Instagram. whatever he's on, all the social media. What's up with junk punks? You know what I mean? And you know what's going on. But you know, everybody has their own, you know, type of social media marketing, whatever they do. You know, Mr. Yee, I don't post how much money I made or how much money I made a day. I've already overcome that. And right there, that's not the type of audience that I want. That's not the audience that helps me make money. That's the type of audience that, you know, they're trying to get something from you by reeling you in, because there's so much clickbait out there. How many YouTube thumbnails do you see? $5,000 in one day, $6,000 in one day, $35,000 in one day. The average junk removal guy is not gonna make that. Probably not even in 1 year. You know what I mean? Especially if he's not putting the effort in to be seen out there. But you know, it's the power of social media right now, where TikTok and Instagram and Meta, Facebook are really doing their thing and really taking over. And you know, but at the end of the day, you're marketing to a different audience. You're marketing, when you do that, to an audience where you're trying to sell them something. And that's what Mr. Yee doesn't. What Mr. Yee markets is to his clients and to keep on being seen 40 times in one day. I want to be seen 40 times in one day by my clients until they get so stir crazy where they just want to pick me. They just want to pick me because my algorithm keeps on targeting them, keeps on targeting them, keeps on targeting them. I don't want to target my junk removal brothers and sisters who like my content and push likes. And I appreciate that, because I like all you guys' content. I'm always watching you guys. I have some people who are amazed that I like their video. They even watch their video, but that's just what I do. But I'm trying to target clients who are, you know what I mean, going to hit that button and spend with me. You know what I mean? That's what they won't tell you. Those gurus, and you know what I mean? You know, with that said, you know, we've been on over an hour now, and you know, let's just you know, you know, let's just, you know, that's kind of the you know, what they don't tell you about junk removal and the hidden side of junk removal. What we kind of touched based on today, guys, on this Saturday with the Yee. I had a long day, but I still made time for you guys to get busy, you know what I mean? And to put this content out for you guys, because this is what I do. I am a content creator, but I've learned how to master social media and how to master, when I put content out, I want 500 views from clients, from people I don't know, not from home service businesses. I want clients to interact with my algorithm. That's what they're not telling you, is that you need to master social media. And what I'm offering you guys to help you guys with your social media will cost you just this much money. And, you know, shout out to you too, my brother. Have a good weekend. Cisco, have a good one, my brother. And, you know, Cisco out there in the 916 getting it 30, almost 30 years, I think, in a trash business. And, you know, I talked to him about his situation. You know what I mean? I think he should tell everybody how much he's been doing trash and market that shit. That's how much you know about trash. Almost 30 years. But you know, I'm gonna speak on this for a second. At the end of this, I'm gonna speak on this for a second. Is that, you know, the truth about junk removal? The truth about junk removal is that junk removal is junk removal. Junk removal is not hard. That's the truth about junk removal, is that what they're not telling you. The truth about junk removal is that it's junk removal. You know what I mean? You do good work, you be professional, you carry yourself, you be authentic, and you have courage and confidence, and you do good work. That's what's going to keep on having you get money in junk removal. That's what's going to keep on having you have client relations and have them keep on calling you. Because the truth about junk removal, you know what I mean? There is no truth about junk removal. The truth about junk removal is what they don't want to tell you. That's the truth about junk removal, is what they don't want to tell you. How, you know what I mean? They get help. Someone helps them with things. No one's perfect of this world. You know what I mean? And that's just the truth about junk removal. The truth about junk removal is there is no truth. It's junk removal. Let this junk removal path help you to get to where you got to go. and open new doors for you. With all that money you make with junk removal, invest it. That's what they should be telling you. Invest it into, you know what I mean, another business, real estate, something that constantly brings in money and that you can walk away from junk removal. Because, I'm not going to be doing junk removal 18 years. You know what I mean? And, that's just it. I'm not going to be, you know what I mean, that other guy. I'm trying to get away from the wheel by next year. I'm still going to be behind the wheel, but just, you know what I mean, showing up to jobs, helping out. That's it. My guys already know how to unload the trailers, dump the trailers. When I bring in the new truck, a used truck that I'm going to pay cash for, you know what I mean? So that's why I'm waiting for next year so I can make my next purchase. You know what I'm saying? So, because I'm a legit business, my brand is my brand, and I believe in following the rules. So, but they're going to talk about the truth about junk removal business. And the truth about junk removal business is that a lot of you are being fooled, and that, you know what I mean, you're being hypnotized, and that, they're not telling you the truth. And that's why there's a lot of content creators now from junk removal who are not doing junk removal content anymore, because, you know what I mean, they're on to other things. But, you know what I mean, they either been exposed, or, you're going to see the truth right through them. And, it comes a time when you are not going to be their audience anymore, and you are going to go your own path, and you're going to see the light. Like, man, that shit is all basic. What people are talking, that shit, man, come on, man, that shit is all fairy tales, man. This shit ain't hard. You know what I mean? And, I salute everybody. I salute everybody who junk removal has changed their life. I salute everybody who's going out there busting their butt and getting it, and, making this happen. I see you out there, 559 in the house. You know what I'm talking about? And, what's that? Garbage and grit. I see you out there, baby. This is the 707. You know what I'm talking about? This is the Yee Yee. Don't forget, I'm also on live on Instagram right now. So I'm doing the best of both worlds right now. I'm taking it over. I ain't playing. They ain't gotta like me. They ain't gotta salute me, but they gonna see me. You know what I mean? Just like in my area, they ain't gotta like me, but they gonna see me, because I'm gonna keep on coming. And I don't even post my jobs like that no more. I don't even post what I did, the before and after pictures on Nextdoor or Facebook like that. I just put my little reel out, what I gotta put out. And that's it. I don't show people what I do, because I want to show clients what I do in person. You know what I mean? And, but that's what I wanted to say. It was a good Saturday. Thank you guys for tuning in. You know what I mean? But remember, when they say the truth about junk removal is, there is no truth. The only truth about junk removal is they ain't telling you all the secrets. They ain't telling you what really is going on. You know what I mean? That, you either be part of it or you don't be part of it. But the Mr. Yee Yee gives you guys facts. He keeps it real, and he doesn't sugarcoat anything. I don't act like an angel or do this or do that. And you know what I mean? I act like me. I love that I get to do junk removal right now, but I'm not going to do this forever. You know what I mean? And, I'm not gonna sell my business. I might step away and let someone else run it, and they can get money and give me a percentage. I'm not gonna franchise. I don't want all this big overhead. I just want to be me. Just want to get money. That's the truth about junk removal. Let this help you to get to another place, open other doors, and, become successful in other places, because you don't want to do junk removal forever. You don't want to be digging in rat shit forever. You don't want to be getting dirty, and junk removal is not easy. So I hope when they say the truth about junk removal, they say, you know what I mean, how hard this shit really is. And, how hard it is to, you can open a junk removal business. It's so easy, no problem. Getting that phone to ring. You know what I mean? The truth about junk removal is marketing, sales. That's it. Nothing else makes sense. All that other shit they talk about, whatever else, whoever talks about, whatever, that shit don't make sense. The only thing that makes sense in junk removal, marketing, sales. That's it. There's only two topics in junk removal. How's your marketing? How's your sales? Because if those two are right, your money's right. Everything is right. You know what I'm saying? And that's the truth, Ruth, not that other shit. This is the Yee Yee. I hope everybody had fun. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. We'll be back next Saturday. And thank you guys all for tuning in. Thank you guys all for the comments right here live on Instagram. Thank you guys so much. We're going to tap out right now on YouTube, but hang on Instagram. You know what I mean? Remember, we went live. Make sure you guys catch us on Instagram, No Limit Hauling and Junk Removal. Make sure you guys catch us on Facebook also, you know, underneath my government, you know what I mean, Rudy Uribe. You can also check out my Facebook, you know, page with my business, No Limit Hauling and Junk Removal. But you could also check out my TikTok. My TikTok is where I put a lot of situations out too. But I'm not going to put out how much money I made, how much I did this, or, you know, it's just not what I do. There's no clickbait here. I just don't do that. You know what I mean? But also, we'll see you guys Monday through Friday with Rank Fortress and, you know, helping you guys with SEO. But remember, if you guys want to master your social media, you guys want to up your game with social media, you want to target the right audience, you want to start getting bigger jobs, more jobs, and a bigger audience, reach out to Mr. Yee Yee. Let me help you with my social media course I got going on right now. Best prices. Let me game you up. Let me help you out. Let me check out what you got going on. Let me give you my advice and let me help you master social media. Because I'm telling you guys, that before and after shit, that little one picture shit, that gallery is not working anymore right now compared to what reels are doing for people's businesses. Everybody's a scroller. They scrolling right past your shit. But like I said, remember that video that just came out? My milkshake. How many people are logging on to that? Because it's a good reel. It's funny. It's not boring. Junk removal is boring. So if they say the truth about junk removal, and if they say it's not boring, it's not a boring business, they got too much pride. They're going to defend it when it is a boring business. It's just like electricians, painters, landscaping, roofers, plumbers. Ain't nobody really going on TikTok looking for that. Ain't nobody going on Facebook looking for that. But if you know how to target the right audience and target your clients to be aware of your brand the right way, you'll land more jobs and you'll have bigger profits. With that said, you already know who this is. It's the Yee Yee.